Lane here down at Glenvale with GoPro 11. Looking forward to a good fun race.
Nick White, GoPro 9. Aiden Buttigieg, GoPro 10.
I'm TJ and I got the Osmo 3. Welcome to another video. This is the first Criterium of 2023 and we're at Glenvale, held by Carnegie Caulfield Driving Club. It's a wonderful day. Almost Mr. Blue out today. There's some clouds, so not quite Mr. Blue.
And you've got Mr. Straight Man here, Terence Hoare, who is going to give you the shot-by-shot in a formal and proper and decent manner. And you got me, Edward, the idiot, and I'm going to throw my spin on everything. And we're going to start by having a look and saying that Pat's running a rear-facing camera. He's got the rear-facing camera on today, so going to have some good action from behind. And of course we've got young Aiden sitting in there right at the start. He's got one of the cameras that we talk about. Nick's got another camera, that's Nick White. And that was Aiden Buttigieg, by the way, and Pat Lane, just get the names right. And of course we've got TJ here as well on camera number 3. Unfortunately something happened with the Osmo Terence.
Yeah, it overheated, so that's just all I can say about it. So, yeah, it's just overheated. So it didn't get the end of my camera, but I didn't win, so it doesn't matter.
Well, we're already getting hot in the race, and Nick looks like he's already gone out the front. So Nick, boring footage. Oh, there we go. Something interesting happening.
Yeah, so this race was, well, it was an interesting race because I didn't have the bestest of legs. So I was hoping a lot of people would be very enthusiastic to chase down breakaways for me, and people were. And I couldn't quite find it on the replay of the cameras, and as I was watching them quickly go through, I just broke my own rule of not actually watching it blind. But I did have to try and comb through the footage because I did hear Nick say, "Looks like everyone's got a welding torch today." So unfortunately for the breakaways, a lot of the other riders were very keen to chase anything that happened, even if they missed it. Even though they're riding individually, they were very keen to bridge and chase everything down. That anything that moved was chased down. Basically, a really pervy guy at a club. Anything that moves, he's onto it straight away.
Now, talking of that, we've got Pat, who's running some boring footage at the moment at the back of the peloton, and he sat there for a little while getting warmed up to the day. And I don't know who that he's looking at right now, but he sat there a couple of times going past. So I warned him. I said, "Pat, I'm going to be telling everyone you're getting me boring footage for a donkey," and he certainly did for a while. He got some looking at the back, and we're going over to Aiden's camera right now, though. We can see, one of the usual stars of our videos for some reason. Terence is coming around the corner, and you can see them already strung out.
Yeah, I should almost annex myself on that next to that corner there. Went very wide, very wide there for a hot second. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Well, looking at Nick's camera, you can see a little bit more kerfuffle happening towards the front, and an attempted breakaway there. Looks like Nick's going to jump straight onto that person. Who's that person, Tim?
I think his name's Bailey from the NCMG Criterium team. They're a Brisbaneite team, but they've nailed some Victorian riders onto their roster. And Mr. Bailey was going very aggressive for the first 5 minutes of this race. The first 10-15 minutes, he was very aggressive. Just making attacks, just out of nowhere he was. And it made for a very quick first couple of minutes. Made it quite frantic as riders who are wanting to save their energies for a sprint were having to at least do a little bit of chasing. So throwing a bit of a spanner into the Melbourne woodworks.
Now we're looking here at your camera, and we can see that you're catching up with this group again and bridging across. Let's go back down to Pat's camera. Oh.
Yeah, he's not doing anything just yet.
Okay. We'll go back over to Aiden's camera.
Pat's super crafty, so you got to watch out for Pat all the time.
I believe so. I know that actually about you, Pat. So it was actually good watching your strategies there. moving backwards over to Nick's camera, and Nick's actually right at the front, catching up with that little group off the front there. It looks like he's chasing them down as fast as he can. What's going on there, Terence?
I don't see anyone ahead of Nick. I think Nick is the front, so you're gonna have to go to my camera and then look, see that. Well, now I just bridged up to Nick's group, so Nick was the front of the race.
Oh, okay. It looked like there was another group there. That might have been the C grade group.
It must have been. But I've brought along Marco with me to this little neat group of 5. But as Nick said earlier, this group had a lot of riders with some welding torches, so it all got brought back together.
It was a bit unfortunate for Mark O'Brien. He actually got a flat this race.
Yeah,
I don't think we captured on camera, but he ended up flattening, and saw him on Springvale Road. He certainly was keeping up with the traffic on Springvale Road. He kept on catching up with me at the lights going back home.
Well, he probably sits on like 45 kilometers an hour all the way, right? With just like a perfect metronome. No matter if he's going up or downhill, 45 k's, 45 k's.
So there's Pat's camera again. There's someone else now behind him, and you just know that he's winding that spring on his legs. You know that, don't you? He's just winding it up. Going over to Aiden's camera, more sort of pointing into the race.
I think.
Oh, actually, here we go. Here's a bit of interesting camera work coming off TJ's camera.
The Bailey guy has gone off again. Oh no, sorry, his teammate's gone off the road. Jamie Cole, Mr. Coles has gone up the road. Always trust him to get some good Coles discounts.
Well, looks like Pat's decided he's got enough spring loading in his legs now.
Well, the first time we've seen Jim Bob, you saw Jimmy Whelan just right behind him. It looks like he's gone to almost last wheel. So if you see Jimmy going to last wheel, he's ready to also do a bit of a wind-up, spring-loaded attack.
Well, going over to camera 2, Nick White's camera, looks like it's hectic there now with C grade in the way.
Our C grade are pretty good today.
Yeah, there was a few times when they were a bit hesitant to move over. In fact, there was one time when I was recording on the side where I actually heard one of the C graders say "nope" when he was told to move over. I actually heard him loudly say "nope" to the marshals on the course.
So we're single file, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
Well, Pat's camera looks a little bit more interesting now, passing that group, and
long way from Druin, we are, but not that far away from Druin.
It looks like Pat's really starting to wind it up. He's actually gone past yourself. He's gone past the other Pat. He's looking. Is that look like Kerry that he went past as well?
Yeah, in the Bardiani kit. So we've got a rider from Europe, from Bardiani. Made his very long trip down here. So, and he raced pretty well as well. He raced pretty good. Made things pretty interesting.
Pat's camera makes a good vision like this. Look at this. They're hammering at the stage. I don't know what their speed was at the stage. Probably about 40, 45.
Oh, we're doing way more than 48 kilometers now. Give us some credit, mate. We averaged 48.5.
Okay, well maybe 48.7 kilometers an hour then through here, or
53.
53. Oh, okay, there we go.
We're doing about 53, 54 through here this section. Although he did actually slow it down a bit through this section, as you can tell. It's also a bit of downhill, so it's quite easy to keep a good pace through that corner.
True, coming down off Mount Glenvale, and looking now at Aiden's camera. Is that Mark O'Brien?
No, which one? Where?
The one wearing the Australian kit.
That was Pat, Dad.
Was that Pat?
That was Pat. Yeah, that was Pat. So you didn't give credit when Pat went at the front, mate. You give him all the hell when he's at the back. As soon as at the front, you don't give him any credit. It's a two-way street. Except in this case when it's a one-way street. Kerry's got a bit of oomph for him. Gee, he raced well too. He did race extremely hot the whole day. And it was actually hot in both speed and temperature. It was a good day. It was only yesterday. Can you believe we're actually doing a commentary for this race? It only happened yesterday. Yeah, we're not going to mention how much of a backlog we have at the moment. So.
No, we've got a few videos to go through yet, but new year, new outlook. We're trying to get everything out on time, and right now.
We'll get through those old ones later.
By the time you see this video, the photos will be up as well. The short link for the photos should be something like Glenvale 2301.
No,
22, 2301, 22, or something like that there. 23 being the year, 01 being the month, followed by the day, or something like that. We'll come up with something for the short link. But there we go. Look at Pat's camera there now. We've got a few riders coming up to say hello.
Yeah, the pace has slowed down just a smidge, and it's given a chance for riders to sort of start passing in, almost creating a double file line, as you can probably see. Riders starting to move up.
Long line down there too. So it's a long line up and a long line down. Don't want to say that too many times too quickly.
Thankfully, that truck didn't park on the apex of the corner, so.
That's Nick White's camera, and Nick has definitely moved up to the front again. And there's young Tom going past.
Is this a breakaway, we think, or is this no? This is
no. You were all together. You were still together at this stage.
Long line.
Long line. You stayed long line for quite a while. In fact, there were comments coming from the peanut gallery. Yes, I'm part of that peanut gallery, saying, "When are they going to do something?" So there's like 3 laps, I think, where it was just long lines every time coming around all together. Every time we saw a breakaway start to develop, it got soaked up straight away.
Straight away, it did. There was lots of welders in this group.
And
she'll be working in a factory who can weld stuff.
We could go back to manufacturing in Australia with a group like this. There's TJ's camera. It looks like TJ's towards the front a little bit, maybe.
Towards the back, but I'm about to move the front because I think
front.
who's that launching off the front?
Oh,
I think it was Jimmy going absolutely squaring up at the front, but everyone's onto Jim Bob like bees to honey.
That is Mark O'Brien in front of you.
That's definitely Mark O'Brien, yes.
He's wearing the Australian colours, and I believe he was wearing Australian colours because he won in 2003 or something, wasn't it, Mark? I can't remember what you said to the person at the entry area. Something about your win and wearing the Australian. That's why you're wearing Australian colours. Looks good on you too, bud. We'll say that. Going over to Pat's camera, obviously, because it's the only one that's facing backwards, and it is a long line it shows.
Yeah, it seems to be that there's a lot of people who don't want to do anything, so hence the long line. And Jimmy is launching off the front, or was launching off the front.
There we go.
And there goes Bailey once again on the counter attack. That's a perfect time. That is the perfect time to go. Just as the wheel land sits up, he goes.
And there goes everyone else going over to him, and look at them go. That's back to Aiden's camera there, just capture the. And again, what happened?
Well, it just seems like
Didn't happen.
everyone wants to be in that breakaway, and then everyone wants to be in that breakaway, but doesn't necessarily want to roll in that breakaway. So everyone's keen for some free tickets on the metro line.
There is a time soon where there is a breakaway that stands out for 2 or 3 laps, and it looked like you were looking for a few people to go with you, and I'm hoping we'll get up in footage. There's you moving right out to the front. Boring footage, Terence. What's going on?
I can't remember. I'm not sure if I'm going off the front, if this is an actual attack from me, or if I'm just sort of rolling, just gently rolling through. Yeah, so since Marco's just attacked, Marco's just counter-attacked, and I'm not really chasing it. I'm not slowing down either. I'm just sort of cruising along. I don't mind Marco going off the front solo. I'm not going to chase it back. He's only got a handful of seconds. I'm happy for him to dangle out there. But yeah, if you're watching this Marco, definitely not chasing you, mate. Look at this gap that you're getting. As I've just flicked through, and then hopefully the other riders will see that Marco's gone up the road, and then start hitting the panic red stations button and start pulling the trigger and go nuclear.
Well, there's Nick's camera. Look at the line coming out now, and the pace has gone up. And everyone's going, nope, we're not going to let Marco get away.
So the welders have come back out, and it's starting to get some sparks and trying to get these 2 pieces of metal back together.
Visualizations, Jonathan, everything you just said, yep.
Yeah, that's just
the visualizations. Going to Pat's camera. He's not at the.
This guy isn't struggling at all. Look at him. He's barely nose breathing.
These guys are looking very relaxed.
Very comfortable.
This is actually towards the end of the peloton.
Middle. This is definitely middle.
Middle. Okay. But looks like.
Yeah, Luke Burns, calm, collected, barely feeling a thing. This is a Sunday recovery ride for Luke Burns at the moment.
So if we go to Aiden's camera right now, what can we see there?
Well, Aiden's launching, so Aiden doesn't want to get left behind. Aiden's got FOMO from missing out on the breakaway that has Marco in it. Because I think we all know that if you get into a breakaway with Mark, he's going to ride it. He's not going to sit on the back of it.
And away you go as well to go up the front, and it looks like you're moving.
Yeah. So Tom just surged real hard then, straight past Mark. But I don't feel like chasing down Tom, so I've flipped through as well.
Aiden's camera now, he's actually taking a breather, and there's Marco. You're actually just past Marco just then. It looks like Marco's dangling.
Yeah, he's come back through the peloton, and once again it's a long line.
But looks like Pat has moved up.
Looks like he would have moved at least a few wheels anyway.
TJ, you're letting everyone go past as you're ready to have a break.
Yeah, I'm just seeing where Patrick Drapak's been sitting. He's in a mixed matching Cannondale Drapak 1T group Intermarché 1T group Gobert cycling kit, which looks pretty phenomenal. If you can get your hands on these Italian or French professional team kits, they're actually a lot cheaper than Rafa. So instead of wearing Rafa, that's $500. You can wear some Italian, French, whatever have you team
usually made
for like
$100
bucks. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Instead of, no more wearing Rafa. Time to wear some weird French team jersey.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. No.
Because now Rafa will never sponsor us. Hey Matt, you looking for someone to sponsor?
I know exactly what
hang on.
Rafa sponsorship.
I'll pronounce that properly. Hey Matt, looking for someone to sponsor?
I think it's a map.
Map.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to say it with a Kiwi accent.
I think it's
map.
Map.
Is that cigarette up there again? Is it?
Yeah. So we passed cigarette quite a few times this race, as you probably expect.
Yeah.
But Nick is just flying down the stand. He is going so fast. He's hit nuclear fusion with his speed.
Yeah, he has indeed. And moving around the corner.
He is bridging to this small little contingent up here. Who's in this? This looks like it could be quite dangerous. I don't know the guy in the orange's name. Definitely that's Tom. There's two, and that's James Ford in the Tunnel Rush kit. So looks like this could be a very, very good working crew. Except Tom doesn't roll a turn. So if Tom could roll a turn, it'd be a very good work.
That's so vicious. That is so vicious. But looking now from Aiden's camera, it looks like you guys just caught up again.
Yeah, Tom did roll a turn. So it needs like...
Pat's actually putting distance in between him and the rider behind him.
Well, Pat can surge and kick really, really hard. So it doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Well, I mean, Pat is a hell of a good rider. I mean...
he did podium in the national championships a few years ago. So he's got some very good pedigree and he's very crafty. And he knows how to win a bike race like this.
Yeah, well, he certainly did place himself well during this section of it. And looking over at TJ's camera right now, we can actually see another long line.
Yeah, that's right. So the pace is up. Don't know who's doing it. Don't know who's doing
see
it.
from behind what line behind Pat.
That guy, he's from New Zealand.
And
another
long line as well. You can't put a Kiwi accent on if you're not a Kiwi, although don't ask me to put a Kiwi accent on for too long, because if I talk with a Kiwi accent for too long, it slips into a South African one. There goes you passing Pat.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that Pat Lane, yeah, that's right. Yeah, me passing Pat. I thought you were talking about Patrick Drapak. He was just behind Pat Lane.
Yeah, Patrick Drapak's just dangling there right now, having a bit of a breather. Although I don't know how you can have a bit of a breather today. I mean, You can't quite see Pat. Unfortunately, he's just stuck behind some of the other riders. But I don't think you can have much of a breather. There's Kerry to the side, getting ready to have a bit of a breather towards the back of the peloton. The pace was just so hot. I mean, there's Aiden at the front. That gives you a bit of an idea. We're going to go to camera 2 and have a look over camera 2, and there's someone launching off the front again.
So, speak of the devil, there's Pat Lane, and it looks like he's bridging up to Marco and Rylan, and then, of course, there's 3 riders ahead of those 2. So it's all scrambled.
It's all scrambled, yep, and
it's scrambled just like some nice scrambled eggs.
Well, having a look at Pat's camera right now, you can see that there's a bit of a gap in there.
Right through that corner. How quick was he going through that corner?
Absolutely. Now that just looks as hot as hell. And we're coming right around now. We're going to have a look, a bit of a gap there. There's a gap there, and you've got 3 riders.
It's very sizzling right now. Sizzling like at a Chinese restaurant. You've got the Chinese sizzling.
That's Nick looking at Pat, looking at our camera, So, I mean, you can just see how this group has got together. Aiden is in that group. Aiden's at the very front of the group.
He's launching through.
He's gone through. Now, Terence is actually a bit down from this group. So
I'm in the second.
You're in the second group
here, praying, absolutely praying.
This is actually a really good move by Pat, by Nick, and by Aiden. So we've got 3 of our donkeys in the front group, and you're in the second group. You're a mule at the moment, mate.
Yeah, well, I can't kick like one, so I don't think that's a great analogy.
Well, that's the analogy I'm going with. If we look at Pat's camera right now, you can see that they're working together. But look what's behind us right now.
It's all good.
All back together.
No one was letting that through. I think last week.
You know what? You were building ships. That's how much welding was going on. You were building
ships.
Yep.
Building ships for what country, Dad? Vikings? Like Viking?
No,
Are we talking Viking ships?
We're talking.
Are we talking like American sailor massive?
No, we're talking French submarines.
French submarines.
Yeah, noisy diesel things. But don't cut your
Bikes
contracts.
aren't that noisy.
Have you ever heard them when you're rushing past them?
But not as much as a car.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, more than a Tesla.
Yeah, but Teslas don't count. That don't count.
All right, I'm avoiding that whole topic there, and I'm going to go back over to TJ's cam. Looking at TJ's cam right now.
There's Jimmy. Watch this space of
Watch
Jimmy.
Mark. Watch Mark. Look.
There goes Mark. There goes James. There goes Tom. Jimmy's going to go any second now.
And we're going to see them
any
here
second.
in Aiden's camera, so I'm going to
hold this camera. No, hold this view, because this will be the perfect time, because Jimmy's going to launch it right about now. I'll put $20 on it. Since I've lost $20.
Looks like you've just lost.
Yeah, I've lost $20.
Although I can point out, we made each other $200 the other day. What were we doing when we were?
So when we were watching the Tour Down Under last week, and if you remember that prologue, was a wet course, and a lot of the riders came unstuck on one of those sections where it went from a road to bike path, and it was very slippery, and heaps of riders had come down, and I said to him, I reckon Jensen's going to come down in that corner, and he did.
But it was
to no fault of Jensen's, because it was just
a shit corner.
It was just a really slippery corner, and he lost his back wheel, which is very odd.
Nine of them came down the same way. As soon as they applied power on the back wheel, down they came like a
straight out.
And we both bet each other $200 it was going to happen before we saw the race, before we saw him race.
Yeah.
And when it happened, I had to go down and get $200 out. He had to go down and get $200 out. We gave each other $200, and we went back to the bank and deposited it all.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you believe we did all that, then you know.
It doesn't seem like it's a bit out of the question for us to.
This is actually quite amusing. We've got Kerry stuck right in the middle here. We've got Kerry stuck between camera 3 and camera 4. No, camera 1 and camera 4. Camera 1 with Aiden. Camera 4 with Pat. No, sorry, camera 4 with
Let's see him take
Pat.
this corner here.
Oh, Kerry! If you got any lower, mate, you might as well go round on a toboggan. You go any lower, mate, I'm getting you a go-kart. Oh, I want to see him go around the next corner now. I'm going to stay on Pat's camera for a minute. I'm going to wait till he goes around the next corner. Let's see how he does this one. Down he goes. Into the corner. Nowhere near as low as he did the other one.
He's still going up a hill in this one.
Yeah, but still.
Okay,
how fast
how about this one? This one's going to slide downhill again.
Alright.
I'll see if he really tips it in, goes in low.
There we go.
He pedals all the way through.
But Kerry went down so low before. I swear to God, mate, he was almost on one of those trolleys you put under the car, you know?
A flatbed trolley.
A flatbed trolley. Oh, there's Terence whizzing past Terence. Whoa! There's someone launching off the front there. There was a blue kit.
That was probably Luke Burns.
No,
that was Luke Burns.
Was that Luke
That's
Burns?
Luke Burns. I can see it. That's Luke Burns.
Oh, right.
He's up there with Pat. That's a dangerous move because the Burns and 8 is quite strong.
Well, let's have a look back here. So now, Pat, all that stuff I said to you earlier on about how boring your camera was,
That's pretty exciting
you've
now.
given us some excitement now, mate. We are sitting beside ourselves, and we can say that categorically because we're sitting here beside each other, beside ourselves. And Pat, you've now got a boring camera again. What's going on? TJ, we'll go to TJ's camera. He's motoring up to catch up with this group ahead.
Yeah, I think
And,
you cut across after. What you didn't see was two rioters just staring at each other going, you bring it back, no, 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 you bring it back.
Okay, well, I think that Aiden's the one bringing it back because he's the one that's on front and he is motoring.
Is he got a gap?
Look at him, he's out of the saddle. He is, look at his head bobbing around like crazy. He is in a mood to catch up with these guys. I think we're going to see some compacto cruncho all together again though soon. And as you can see from Pat's camera, everyone is starting to move across to Pat.
So it looks like Aiden did have a small gap with Rylan. So Rylan was right at the wheels of Aiden, and there's a small gap to Rylan.
And now Aiden's rolled off because everyone's all back together again. Oh, we can have another breath. We can have another breath.
Just hold on to your breath because in 3, 2, 1, another attack.
There is another attack. I was waiting to see if I can see what camera to look at.
There we go. Marco's going through. Go to camera 1.
Go to camera
and you can
1.
see.
Okay, we're looking at Aiden's camera. Yep, someone's launched off the front again. Who's that? That's launched off the front?
Lee's following Marco, and then Marco's following. I don't know who that guy was.
And there's Terence. So I'm
there
going to flick over to Terence's camera because it looks like there's going to be a bit of action happening there. And
so if this group if me, Lee, Mark, and this guy in the blue can get a good gap, we could definitely work our way to being the winning selection.
Well, let's hope that something happens because.
And Lee's got a great sit. Lee is tall. He is really tall.
Yeah, true that. And there's the 4 of you getting together slowly. It looks like Nick's actually right on your tail. Is that Nick on your tail? No, that's not your tail. That's not your tail.
No.
Sorry. I saw the pink.
Nick is quite close to my wheel. Yes. I think that's Josh. That was Josh on my wheel, or just about on my wheel.
And you're coming.
But Nick now Nick does bridge up to me and then go off. There goes Nick.
There we go.
So there goes Nick to bridge to these 2 riders.
And it looks like Pat's actually moving himself around and
let's have the Pat.
Just gone past you as you're going back into the peloton because everyone's all bunched together again. And we'll go over to Aiden's camera as they go past the C-grade riders again. Coming around the corner, C-grade's looking a bit. Whoa!
Attention!
Oi.
Calling Jimmy Whelan. Here he goes.
There we go. There we go.
Jump on the express train because it's Jim Bob. Jump on those wheels.
And let's go over to Nick's camera because it looks like Nick's actually part of that group there as well. And he can see Aiden right there.
Wheels flying everywhere.
There are wheels flying everywhere. Look at that.
So it looks like it's all back together again. Or is it? Does Jimmy keep on going?
Look at that.
No, it's all back together again. One long line.
Yeah, one long line all together. Yep. And there goes.
Oh, could there be another split here? Does Aiden put his foot down? He does. He does put his foot down. He does bring that back.
Looks like Marco's looking for a gap or somewhere to actually launch again. But there we have Aiden looking at Pat, looking at Aiden. I love it when we have front and rear cameras looking at each other. Pat's looking around, looking like he's looking for someone to join him, or he's looking to create a gap. And probably the latter.
Looks like he's just checking on to seeing if anyone's following and who's following. And so Aiden is pushing with all of his might, sending it. They've hit the red button for send mode. And this is a very, very good gap for the time being. This is the biggest gap we've seen in a long time.
Now, Aiden's saying something. What's he saying there, Terence?
Ah,
he's saying right, up.
I think that's for you guys at home to scrub through at 50%, to try and hear, or maybe not hear, but sort of lip read what he's saying. But I can tell you it's probably very colourful words.
And he's just launched it. He's told Pat to move, and Pat is moving.
He is
motoring. He is motoring along, and Nick's in that group as well. And Pat is looking like he's going, okay, I have to move. There's Aiden's camera right there. Let's have a look who's in front. So how many is in this group? We've got 1, 2.
James is there, Pat's there. But let's see who's chasing. Let's see if we can see who is chasing. Keep it on this, just so we can see who's here. So James has lost that wheel for a second, and it looks like it's panic stations for the group behind, and it's only a handful of seconds. Very, very small gap that is here.
Aiden's just put the gas on.
And it looks like Patrick Drapack is leading the chase behind. Here comes Patrick Drapack. He's saved all of his tickets for this move.
Now I'm changing over to the next camera right now because we can actually see that coming back together again. We can actually see that group coming towards you again. I just want to see if we can see. You've got 5 of you in that group. Looking back at Pat's camera, you can see the group is together, but you can see a 1 second gap between you and the peloton. 1 second, or between them and the peloton.
Yeah, it's just about
a
together.
Second, and it looks like who's that leading the challenge?
It's been split a bit. So leading the charge is the Kiwi fella. Kiwi fella.
Hey.
And then it looks like it might be like is one of the MCMG guys. There's Jimmy.
And there's you right at the.
And then there's me making sure that Jimmy Whelan.
So let's have a look at your camera, and we'll see what happens. And it looks like you guys all just sat up. It actually looks like you guys are set up.
We've set up now. But will this group get away though? Because
there's another challenge. There's another challenge.
Half the group sat up, and it looks like there could be another counter attack to this counter attack.
So Aiden's camera now, we're seeing another attack again. Aiden's camera seemed to slip forward a little while ago. I'm not sure why, but I think it was purely wind resistance, to be honest. So it's pointing more to the ground than up to the heads of the riders. But there is definitely something going on again, as we see one rider up the front there, and then the rest of the peloton coming along. Now, if we go to Pat's camera, we can see yours truly there, Terence.
Yeah, that's right. Pat doesn't have a very good draft.
Bit skinny, is he?
Yeah.
Well, coming into that corner.
I think he rides a 52, so not like Lee Phillips.
Spinners are winners, though, Terence. They say spinners are winners.
Nah, not for me. Grinders are champs.
Grinders an app. What can you say to that, Terence?
Why did we give phones to boomers? Is what I can say.
Over we go to Aiden's camera, and he's right towards the pointy end of the peloton again. But the peloton is all together. I mean, if we go back to Pat's camera, there's a slight gap between him and the next rider, and we go around the corner, and he's actually right towards the back of the what's left of A grade. There's been a few people pull out of A grade now. It's a smaller peloton than it was earlier, but still running red hot, mate. Still running like the welding ships at a dockyard, mate.
That's right. Sizzling hot like a Chinese sizzling barbecue plate.
worried where you're going to go with that, but I'm quite happy with that. Terence says,
Don't you love those barbecue sizzling plates?
oh yeah, I do, mate.
Delicious.
Yeah,
You like stir-fried noodle barbecue sizzling plate. Delicious.
And looking at Nick's camera, he's at the pointy end, but in front of Nick is Mr. Pointy himself. Now, I don't know if that's a group of 3 off the front.
I think that definitely is a group of 3 off the front.
So well, not for long.
This group of 3 slipped off in the last counter-attack. That counter-attacked.
Was that after the counter-attack?
That was after the counter-attack, exactly.
So we're up to like 19 levels of counter-attack here.
It's kind of like Inception, where there's like multiple layers of dreams. This is like multiple layers of counter-attacks. Does it make sense? No? Then bike racing doesn't make sense.
Well, bike racing sometimes doesn't, but there's Pat's camera, and he's towards the end of the peloton, and he's having a bit of a breather right now. Okay?
Don't you love it that there's so much more individualised racing at Glenvale? No, because all the NRS teams have gone. Have folded. Some of the big teams have folded. It's just individual. It's just all individual now.
It's like every other interstate challenge now.
Yeah, exactly.
So Nick's now chasing down, leading to chase down that group. TJ's camera, you've just had Aiden go past you and a bunch of other riders go past you. You look like you're having a bit of a breather. And if we go look at Pat's camera, Pat's actually moved up a wee bit in the peloton because I think everyone else is having a breather behind him.
Yeah, that's right.
But if we look at Nick's camera, someone's trying to pedal off the front again.
That looks like very, very, very nippy cadence of maybe Lee or was it James Whelan?
Well, Aiden's coming around now to chase him down, so...
Very nippy cadence, very, very quick. I wonder who could possibly pedal that fast.
Yeah, I think
it is
you're
James.
right.
It is James Whelan, yeah.
James, yeah.
He must average like 120 cadence on a day like this. 120 cadence. Does he train for cadence? For high cadence? Must. It must be the motor pace.
I have absolutely no idea, but Nick's camera looks pretty damn hot right now because he is right up to the pointy end, right behind the big fella Tom.
Who's allergic to being on the front.
And it looks like
he tries to wave through
Nick. It looks like Pat's just launched off and gone into that little group, past Tom and just gone straight out into that little group that's up ahead. And everyone now is back to chasing this group down.
There's Jimmy, looking very, very quick, taking that corner real well. So Jimmy is very crafty. He did a very good Nats campaign, he did. There's James, is sprinting hard to get back onto turns.
Well, if we go over your camera, Terence, there we can actually see how far.
Pandemonium.
Yeah, it is literally pandemonium right now. So if we go over to Pat's camera, you've already gone around the corner. You're coming around the corner right now, and it looks like young Nick and we've got Nick and Pat facing each other again with the cameras. And let's have a look and see what's going on with Nick's camera.
Pat has got the aero socks on. Pat's got aero socks on. He's taking this
Pat's
serious.
been hanging around with Aiden a bit much, huh?
Well, funnily enough, Aiden didn't have aero socks on this ride. Did you notice that?
He
Aiden didn't have aero socks on.
Oh, well that's
He had the pleb cotton socks.
Well, you can't blame me then for the camera slowing him down. It has to be the aero socks.
Had to be the aero socks, exactly.
Yeah, well, there you go.
On the
look at this.
socks.
We're missing out. Nick and Pat have decided to go out on their own. Nick's about to go
straight through that
corner and
railing it hard.
And Pat's actually set up a wee bit. It looks like.
Yeah, we're all Grupo Compacto once again.
Yeah, it looks like everything's gone back to. I mean, if we look at Pat's camera right now, you can actually see the peloton all coming.
The two pros in Bardiani and Intermarché keep riding side by side. They're planning something, surely.
No, see if you just passed a little bit of C grade there again, so it looks like
this is the back of the group. Who are those?
That's C grade. That's C grade. But C grade actually also shrunk that day. So let's go to the next camera so we can see a bit of action here. Nick is coming up to the corner, and he's only got the one rider in front of him right now. Who is that?
I'm not too sure who that is in front of him, but Nick is towards the front, and the guy in front is riding pretty hard. He's riding very, very quick tempo.
I mean, My God,
Oh,
we've got
Kate
60
is-
frames a second, and I'm trying. I mean, it just looks like a
Start counting.
Coyote Roadrunner style. Yeah. So it looks like Nick and Pat have joined forces again. Maybe Pat's camera's looking a little bit boring, so I don't know if he's at the front or at the back.
Pat's at the back, and then Jimmy's gone to the back though.
But Nick's camera's got a bit of action happening on it again.
No, not quite. Let's go back. Let's go back onto Aiden's or Pat's camera because I want to see what I kind of want to see what Jimmy's doing at the back of the peloton.
Oh, so you want to have a look?
Let's just see what Jimmy's doing.
So we've got about 15 minutes of the race to go here at the moment. No, a little bit more than 15 minutes. So let's have a look.
He's very comfortable right now. He's recovering, but I want to see when he starts to make his next.
He's going to have a drink.
He had a drink on just before the second corner, but it looks like he's giving a bit of distance to Pat because this is the perfect time. It seems as though to launch it because what he might want to do is fully send it very, very soon. As we're watching James.
Oh, hang on.
Nick's
just
gone
past
to the
you.
front again.
You were actually at the front.
Yeah.
You were actually at the front for a bit. So we missed out on seeing you at the front there, Terence. But Pat is.
So Mitch
Jim's
is.
right
I think
beside him.
that's Mitch now. Who's gone to the back. He's very comfortable.
Looks like we've got someone launching at the front again there, Terence.
Let's head over this camera.
There we go.
So I don't know if there is. I don't think there is anyone off the front at the moment. I think it's.
No. I think you guys.
We're
I
just
think this
slowly.
is the four together that could have actually taken the race. If you guys had organised.
We're going off the front. We went off the front.
No,
we weren't off the front. No, we went off the front. We were not off the front. If we were off the front, I would have ridden bloody hard. You know that, Chico. But no, there was no one off the front.
Okay. All right. Well, there was a point where you were there with 3 or 4 other riders.
Yeah, and then
and I was yelling out.
all 60
60
people were just bridged straight across to that. Nothing was getting away. There was not a chance. Not a chance anything was getting away. Had better luck going to the pokies of winning something.
Yeah, House always wins, so don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I do know that TJ's at the front.
Yeah, so there might be something at the front. I'm not.
El Boring O Footer Joe.
There is a rider in the distance there.
Yeah, I don't think that's one of your riders. So there's Terence's camera, and Terence is sitting down and waiting to get a bit of a breather. I don't think that's one of your riders. I don't think he's going the same pace as you guys.
But he's not getting any closer. So it looks like that might be Mark rejoining the race after having a puncture.
Oh, could
That's
be.
it.
Yeah,
That's
it is
it.
indeed.
So
yes.
Mark rejoining the race.
Okay.
Right
Well,
there.
we didn't actually see what happened with Mark. So
I think we missed it, but he did have a puncture. I did see it in front of me. He did have a puncture.
if we look at Pat's camera, you can see Marco sitting back a wee bit and sorting himself out. There's young James and Kerry and Tom. It looks like a whole party. There's Nick. I mean, it just looks like a whole party of everyone just getting together again.
There goes Pat.
And there's Pat
Here
about
he goes,
to launch.
launching.
And we'll go over to Pat's camera and see the distance
That is
build.
a very, very quick gap.
There we go. Look at that. Straight around the corner.
Yeah, railing that
Wow. And he's gone skis.
corner. He's
from boring footage at the back to boring footage at the front there, Pat. What are we doing, buddy? What are we doing? It looks good though because he's got a massive amount of distance.
Railing that corner.
Now look at
very
you.
fast.
You're actually trying to come through that group now as quick as possible. You must have realised that Pat's gone up the road.
Oh, I saw Pat went up the road, but I'm not too worried because it's just Pat at the moment.
And Aiden is joining up with Nick and yourself, and I think maybe not.
No, Aiden's
gone to the
through.
front.
Aiden's flicking through though. He's not that keen on trying to bring him back. As you can see, he's all over the road here trying to get someone to go around and chase back Pat. And Pat isn't fully committing, so Pat's looking
No,
around.
Pat's looking around already. He's going, where are the rest of them? And here they come now. Here they come. They're about to join them in 3, 2, 1, and there we go. They're all back together again. Compacto, all the welding kit back on. Put your glasses back on. Don't want to get these. Don't want to burn your eyes out. We are all back together again. Welding kit away.
Bridge built.
Bridge built. Submarine built. It's leaky, noisy, and Toronto diesel, but it's all good.
Well, there goes Mark, and this is dangerous. Mark and Luke Burns, this is dangerous. James Forbes says, I'm not having none of that. Even Pat, even Nick here says, I'm not having none of that.
Well,
So this is time to hit panic stations right here.
well, I think so. And
You can hit my camera.
Yeah, you're going, okay, this is not a good place to be right now.
No.
I do not want
No.
to be left out, miss out on this. So you're going to start bringing everyone across, I reckon. I reckon you're going to help tail everyone across, and I can almost guarantee that because look at Pat's camera. Pat's holding on to someone, and I reckon it's probably a little bit to do with yourself, mate, and you're about to jump onto this group. And, oops, I've gone to the wrong camera. You're about to jump onto this group, and it looks like you're back together again. And
Here comes
if we
Pat,
go-
though. Here comes Pat.
There we go,
Whoosh.
whoosh past.
Flying
There's Pat,
through.
and he's doing it again. He's gone again, and
Counterattack. Central.
counterattack. Yeah, and he's going. I'm out of here. I'm over my race today. I'm going to go home as a winner, and you're catching up with him right now
Yeah.
to join him. And Pat's gone. Nope, I committed
He's
too
onto
early.
this. Yeah, no, Pat's onto this. Pat's having to sprint hard though, but he is there, and you can't see it because we can see it from the multicam. Mark has joined up, has bridged across, but I guess so has everybody else.
So all back together again. I mean, if we wanted to give a name to this race, Terrence, it would have to be Compacto.
It would be called the Welders, the welding day, the Welders.
Yeah, the welders at church.
Yes, the church welders. Yeah. We've got to be careful though. That might get shared into a few
Wrong groups.
yeah, a few religious groups. Yeah, I like it, but I kind of like it though.
No, welders at church, I think is the name of this video because it definitely looks like they're straight past C grade marshals, and it does look like C grade's over. I haven't seen C grade for a while now, we did see them fair hoofing it earlier. I reckon C grade.
C grade's pretty. I think C grade's pretty close to being finished. Yeah, if not just finished this lap.
Now, what's the time we're up to there, Terrence?
So we are just about hitting 48 minutes.
Okay,
So we've got
no,
another
they're not
7 minutes
over
to
yet
go.
though. They're not over yet. They literally finished with 3 laps, and you guys finished 2 laps after they did. For some strange reason, we won't try and figure that out. So it was literally one race after the other race, and that was me on the side of the road.
We'll get to that point when we get to that point.
We will. Yes.
Video.
And looking at Pat's camera right now.
There's Jimmy. So Jimmy's made his way back to the front. So Jimmy should be getting ready for an attack anytime soon. Yeah, they're going very gingerly into this corner.
Yeah, that's looking.
Very quiet at the moment. Seems as though we're sort of waiting for someone else to make the next move. And Aiden said, "That'll be me, thanks. I'll take the helm."
Over to your camera
There
and
he
watch him
goes.
disappear into the
Aiden
future.
looked dead at me in the eyes and basically said, "Let's go, Chief." And I said, "Nah, you're going solo, buddy."
He's gone, skis.
He's gone solo. Go solo cause YOLO, isn't that the saying?
Well, there's Marco there looking.
He's saying
yelling
a few
something.
words. Yeah.
Yelling something to Pat.
Wish you could actually get a read of what he said. But
Yeah, I think what we have to do is start miking up all the riders.
yeah, we've got to mark up all the riders. We'll call it mic'd up. Glenvale mic'd up.
So have donkeys and parakeets.
Yeah. Or pigeons.
Or pigeons, there we go. And Aiden's still
So
on his own.
Aiden's going to try and race his cars down this next hill.
So he's got a bit of a gap. I mean, if we
does have a gap.
look at your camera maybe, we should be able to see Aiden going around the corner. Or yeah, there he goes, around the corner. Woof.
So yeah, Aiden's going around the corner. So let's just keep it on this camera for a sec.
Yep.
As you can see, these 4 riders ahead of me were very, 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 very keen to bring back Aiden. I'm not too sure why. They were very, 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 very. The C grade's finished. These riders are very keen to bring Aiden back. The panic stations were hit. They are
wow,
really,
and
really
Aiden's
trying
way up the road too.
He's up the road. But
He's actually got one of the best. But he's actually got one of the best gaps of the day.
He has definitely got one of the largest gaps.
So someone's going to have to pull out the 24,000 volt arc welder instead of the soldering iron, and catch up with Aiden here. And I mean, look, I'm just going to quickly dash over to Aiden's camera. This is where Aiden's coming through right now, and let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds.
And it looks like Jimmy Whelan has gone flying, but everyone has jumped onto Whelan straight away. No one's given Whelan an inch. Most marked man of the day he was.
So Aiden's gone around the corner already, and we'll look at the next corner. So we'll go up to Aiden for the next corner, and Aiden is now languishing out there by himself. We go over to next camera. We should be able to see Aiden go around the corner.
Yeah, he's just about being swallowed, Aiden.
There he goes on the right hand side of your screen.
Yeah.
And he's done.
He's just about been swallowed by Jimmy.
Done.
Rylan was so quickly onto him. He may as well.
There you go. You're going back for a rest. You're going back on the peloton for a rest. Someone asked me the other day, why does it mean going back into the peloton for a rest? And I was trying to explain to them, the more riders in front of you, the better draft you have, the more of a rest you can have. And they couldn't quite grasp it. But I believe it's 18 wheels in front of you gives you the best rest.
It sort of depends. It sort of depends, because if you're in a long line, it doesn't really matter too much. Like if you're in a single file line,
look like this crazy guy. This crazy guy. The camera we're on right now. This crazy guy's about to jump out and do another, or go for another break. Whose cameras will be on right now? Oh, it's you.
So
there's Aiden looking up at you, and you've actually got a 2-second gap there almost. Aiden's actually not chasing you down.
I don't have it. What are you talking about? I don't have it.
Oh, sorry, was that Nick? Is that Nick White that's got
That's Nick. That's Nick up.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, my mistake.
Nick's got like a half a second. He's not riding very hard at all.
So if you go around this corner, we should be able to see the riders coming past, catching up with, and I'll go with Aiden's camera because Aiden's got the view of everyone passing you. And I'm just going to go up to Pat's camera because it looks like Pat, that's Pat that's just gone past there now. And I reckon we're going to see another move from Pat. Now Nick's actually at the front of the group right now, so if we go to next camera, he's actually right at the front of the peloton. But I think we're going to see another move from Pat at the moment. Whoa!
Nope, it's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy. We just missed Jimmy going past. Now what camera now?
Go to camera 1.
We've lost TJ's camera. This is when TJ's camera overheated. So TJ wasn't going fast enough to get enough wind around it to pull it down.
No.
So a little bit disappointed with that, Osmo. We've got the heat and everything turned right up on it. So should not have done that. So I'm a bit frustrated with that. But looking at Aiden's camera right now, oh, there's a bit of action happening there.
So Jimmy is trying to launch off the front, but everyone's straight onto the wheel. No, he's not getting.
He's not getting anywhere.
He's not getting anywhere. And it looks like Rylan with the red overshoes, almost match out.
I like those red overshoes, so I think they look good.
I don't know. I don't know about those overshoes. I reckon your feet would get hot, surely.
Oh yeah.
He must have cold feet naturally. His feet must feel like Antarctic.
Maybe he's a full-on welder and needs the heat.
Well, Rylan is welding everything, yeah. Oh, the
Someone's at the doorbell.
Just goes nuts.
Uh,
Oh. This is the bell. So it was, I'm not too sure it was an accident because we were meant to get 3 laps to go. But instead of getting the 3, we got the bell. So it is panic stations, red button. And there goes the sirens in everybody's head because we were not expecting that.
Now, if we go over to Pat's camera, I'm gonna sit on Pat's camera for this race. Actually, sorry, let's go next camera. Now, Nick's looking very hectic right now. He looks
Wheels
like
going everywhere.
There's just everything's going off, and look at this. Look at the rate. Look at the speed of everything going up. Looks like this is going to be an interesting
showdown.
Yeah.
Jimmy just went straight up the inside.
And
Rylan gets pushed off the wheel.
And Nick,
James
and
Ford
Nick
is pushing him off.
Nick is actually just sitting right in there. Look at that. He's just sitting in there
Nick
ready
is
to go.
getting the perfect line at the
He is. And
everyone's shouldering
Patrick
around.
Drapak's gone round the front. Patrick Drapak's 2 wheels up ahead. And Nick's we're ready to go. And here we go.
Jimmy's leading everything out.
There we go. And then, wow, Patrick's looking good. But look what's happening here. And wow, Nick White takes it. Patrick Drapak came second, and I believe Pat Lane came third, I think, for the day. No, it wasn't Pat Lane third. It was another rider third.
The guy in the MCG.
Yeah, there we go. There'll be a photo.
Bailey came third.
There'll be a photo here somewhere about who the podium, and that was an incredible race. So, Terence, what did you think of the race for the day?
It was pretty quick. It was pretty as per usual. But just the only thing that happened was that a lot of the riders are in Adelaide, so it made for a very interesting race here where everyone seemed to follow Jimmy Whelan, and Jimmy Whelan couldn't get a break from anyone. Oh, and matter of fact, no one else could get a break either. So that's it.
So that's the race, and thanks very much for joining us. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. You know what to do. And we'll see you for the next race, which will probably be an older race rather than a new race because we've got a lot to catch up with. So thanks for joining us, and hopefully you stuck right to the end of the race.
Bonsoir.
Looking right now at Nick's camera, we can see
Bonsoir.
Pat.
Yeah, it's pretty solid out there.
It's a bit weird too because every breakaway got taken back up again.
Yeah, everyone had the welding torches out today. So.
In the last 3 laps, every time you went down the front straight, you guys slowed down, looked at each other, and went all over the road.
Yeah, no, it's a cagey race, but
well done, though. Good
Sunday church.
Good take in the end. Young Kerry going. Well, good ride. Good ride, mate. Good ride. Good photo on this.